Hey, everybody, this is Fred Diamond with the Sales Game Changers podcast. Over 850 Sales Game Changers podcasts. You can find them all at salesgamechangerspodcast.com. And of course, I'm with the Institute for Effective Professional Selling every Monday morning. We do a special episode. It's called the AI and Sales Brief. And of course, we bring on Tom Snyder with Funnel Clarity and Zeev Wexler with Wexler. And the topic basically is how your company can become more effective in the sales process by utilizing more effective AI for selling effectiveness. So every Monday morning at 7:30, we're going to be posting the show. We're going to be tackling a question. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, thank you as well. And we have a great solution, Tom Snyder and Zeev Wexler, for companies that are looking to be more effective by best using AI in selling effectiveness. All right, this is the second episode that we've done. Tom, the top heavy mirage. Why is our pipeline full of leads that never convert to opportunities?
Isn't that funny? I love that we called it leads that never convert. Why don't we refer to that as wishes and dreams and hopes and aspirations? And let's call a lead the very few things that actually are real potential opportunities. If you talk to sales leaders, they will all tell you that they feel like their funnel is chock full, and it is. And most of it is larded with things that don't belong there. Because how does something get in the funnel? First of all, we've got pressure on either our SDRs, our BDRs, or account executives to continue to add to the top of the funnel. And often we reward our BDRs and SDRs for doing that. So they make dozens of calls, emails, in-mails, etc. Some people agree, and oh my God, we have a call. Boom, boom. It should be in the funnel. And it shouldn't. First of all, we have no idea, if we're not trained to know how to do it, of figuring out before we reach out to anybody, can we structure a hypothesis of need? What information can we garner before we ever reach out that indicates there are things about the characteristic of the positioning of this company, the performance of this company, the management of this company, any one of a dozen other things that tell us they may actually be interested in exploring a decision we care about. That's different than they may be interested in buying from me. They may be interested in exploring an alternative to what they're doing now. The second piece of that is that I need to understand how to get the individuals I'm going to contact at that company. How do I get them? How do I get their attention? I mean, I don't know about you, but I get probably 100 unsolicited emails a day, all of which promise me all kinds of things. Like, oh, we could give you 5x this and, 10 times ROI and, make the world happier. And, listen, if somebody could tell me that I'll tell you how to be 6 inches taller, I'm in. But other than that, I'm not interested. So we need to be able to craft something which causes in the mind of the person we're contacting a pattern interrupt, which will force you to pay attention even if you're busy. And a pattern interrupt is the easiest thing to find if you know how. It takes time now to find that information. But if I can be armed with the information to put in the subject line of my email that seduces you to open it, if I could have something I could observe when you first answer the phone that makes you pause and actually think and become curious. If I could use that same thing in the subject line of an in-mail, and then I'm equipped with the information that I've garnered to establish a hypothesis of need. Why would there possibly be an exploration, a willingness, a seed of opportunity? So before something gets in the top of my funnel, it has at least the initial evidence to be qualified to be there. Instead of the quality to be there is they answered the phone for the BDR. They agreed to see a demo and they didn't even show up. or my salesperson is just sure we need to get this particular client. Think how big they are. Think of the revenue they could produce. It doesn't work like that. So what happens? The funnel gets chock full. The forecast stinks. The language at deal reviews between the leader and the salespeople are a stream of questions followed by a stream of self-forgiving excuses. And everything slows down because there's only so many calories you can spend in a day. And if you're wasting your time chasing ghosts, oh, I got a full funnel, I can go to bed at night. Yeah, well, the numbers aren't matching up. And I have learned, and I'm going to say this every single episode. I have learned that the magician, my friend, the person I admire in this industry the most, Zeev Wexler, can accelerate what I just described beyond your belief, what might take you hours and hours can now be done in a very few moments, maybe even seconds. Zeev, tell them about the magic.
Thank you, Tom. I want to bring something in. It's not just AI and it's not just sales acumen. It's the combination of both. If you have an AI operator, an agent that knows exactly about what Tom just talked about, that basically is your manager, assistant, and sales trainer all in one place, that actually makes you go through the steps, makes you understand what works. As salespeople, and I am faulted that too, we get excited. We're like, oh, somebody wants to talk to me. Somebody wants to do something. Let's put them in. Great. Even with working with Tom, I personally learned that sometimes I move too fast. Sometimes I don't clarify enough. And I've learned so much from you, Tom, and bringing your knowledge, your expertise, your magic into what really works, scientifically proven of what really works, into an AI, that now it goes step by step. It helps you clarify who you have here, whether it's a person, a prospect, or maybe an opportunity that goes into the funnel. But now artificial intelligence is there for you. It works for you to clarify all these things, not to slow you down, but to make you clear. I've told this to so many sales forces. The goal of AI is not to send 100 times more emails that failed before. That is not the goal. The goal is to send the same amount that will be 10 times more efficient. The goal is to understand clearly who you're dealing with, what you're supposed to say, what they want to hear, their behavior in the past. And something that would take you a week for each prospect now, with artificial intelligence, with building the right funnel, right agent, right project, with the knowledge of Tom, is actually becoming a matter of a minute and a half per prospect. And that is the true magic. Understanding what works, understanding the sales experience, the acumen, the incredible magic that Tom, with all your experience, you bring in, and making it automated into your process. That's where true magic happens, getting sales and AI together, not just one or the other. This is the true moment now that every sales organization needs to think. How do I bring what actually works, scientifically proven, into my process, make it short, make it good, and now my salespeople are equipped, and now I'm closing more deals. The pipeline is actually not a mirage, like you said, Fred, but actual pipeline.
Fred, Zeev, if you might, and I want you to just take 1 minute and describe the fact that lots of salespeople are using AI, but the corporation hasn't figured out how to do it right. Could you just make a quick comment on that?
Absolutely. A lot of corporations bring AI tools in. Copilot, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, choose, whichever one. And then they let these salespeople just go on there and experiment and prompt and send certain things. Every answer is different. Instead of processing the AI, teaching the artificial intelligence system exactly what works, what the hypothesis of need is, what is working on, putting it together, testing it, and then deploying it to the team of this is what we're doing based on what leadership wants, based on what the client wants, based on what works, based on scientific fact. And now you have an agent that really understands your company, your client, and what really works in sales. That's the temple here. If you understand all these three and you give a process, now you have an artificial intelligence that doesn't just shorten timelines, but actually creates success.
Awesome. That was awesome. I love that.
All right, good stuff, Tom and Zeev. Once again, the Institute for Effective Professional Selling. We have a great new solution brought to you with the expertise of Tom and Zeev and Funnel Clarity and Wexler. Just click the QR code at the bottom of the screen or reach out to me, Fred Diamond or Zeev and Tom, and we'll help you go in there. All right, once again, every Monday morning at 7:30, we're going to be 7:30 Eastern Time. We're going to be tackling a topic that is on the top of mind of selling professionals and leaders. Again, this is the AI and Sales Brief. My name is Fred Diamond.